Hey guys, Joe here from TechKnow, and today we're going to be talking about some of the best apps you can download for iOS, macOS and iPadOS. The one trend between all of these apps is they are all must downloads, and you cannot miss having any of these on your devices. They are just that good. Before we get started, I just want to disclose that this video is not sponsored or affiliated with any of the companies or apps in this list. All opinions are my own, but if you do want to download any of the apps in this video, take a look at the description below because I've got all of the links down there. Anyway, let's get straight into the list. The Affinity suite of software made by Serif is an incredible deal if you're not a massive fan of paying subscriptions for software, such as Adobe Creative Cloud, which I do know adds up quite a lot in the long run. The Affinity range features 3 programs called Affinity Photo, Affinity Designer and Affinity Publisher. Available on macOS, Windows and iPadOS, these 3 pieces of software are essentially Adobe Photoshop, Illustrator and InDesign alternatives, allowing you to edit photos, create vector graphics or design printable documents for a much cheaper price. Currently on version 2, the Affinity apps cost £70 each on Mac and Windows, but £20 on iPad. However, for those of you that want to use all 3 programs, Serif have a great deal that grants you access to version 2 of all 3 apps on all 3 platforms for £170 with its universal license, which is around £300 in savings. If £170 is still a little bit steep for you, Serif do often drop the price in their sales, but regardless, I believe the price tag is very much worth it as you get to keep the apps forever. Personally, I've been using the Affinity range for around 4 years and do not regret it at all. Yeah, sure, there are some features missing that Adobe Creative Cloud does have that Affinity doesn't. However, for the most part, I think it's a great deal and it is definitely worth checking out. How could I possibly make a top 5 list of apps and not include Notion? For anyone that's unfamiliar with this legendary app, I would describe Notion as an infinite notebook. Whether you care about taking notes, project organising or even data storage, Notion takes everything to a completely new level. At first, Notion looks like a basic Word document when you open it up, but what they call a page is able to hold text, images, videos, audio, tables, databases and more. But the most powerful part is the ability to create pages within other pages. This simple ability makes it possible to create workspaces in Notion that are intuitive and easy to organise. On top of this, the wide range of options within the databases makes it possible to completely manage projects, which can be completely customised as well as have the ability to change its status. Really powerful stuff here, I genuinely cannot recommend it enough. Now I will be honest, Notion is pretty straightforward when you open it up for the first time, but if you really want to make the most out of it, I would recommend turning to the internet for some advice. There are plenty of creators out there that have made some incredible content on Notion and I highly recommend checking them out. Available for free on iOS, macOS and iPadOS and other platforms too, Notion completely syncs up with all of your devices, meaning you can organise your entire life and your projects and take it anywhere with you. If there's one app that I would suggest you try out of all of the ones on this list, Notion is the one that I would recommend the most. It is just that good and I cannot believe it's actually free. The third app in this list is a little bit different with the fact that when you're using a macOS device, you have to actually use it in the internet browser. However, there is an iPhone app available that you can use to check over all of your information. WeTransfer is a great little service as it allows you to transfer files to other people without having to worry about email file size limits, Google Drive links or other privacy concerns. WeTransfer works by uploading the files you want to send to the WeTransfer website along with the email address of the recipient, a title and a brief message. The person you sent the files to will then receive an email with a download link, which will expire if they take too long to download it. WeTransfer is free to use for everyone, but with the limitation that you can only send files up to a total of 2 GB in size. Transfer links will also expire after 7 days with the base subscription, although these limitations will not be an issue for most people. However, if you want to upgrade to the Pro or the Premium versions of WeTransfer, there are additional benefits for doing so. Pro will allow you to upload up to 200 GB of files in one transfer, while Premium offers unlimited transfer file sizes. Both options also have extra benefits with other WeTransfer services and business options, as well as the ability to password protect your downloads. However, all WeTransfers are protected by 2-factor authentication, which is a really nice touch. Priced at £108 a year for Pro or £210 a year for Premium, as well as other monthly options being available, WeTransfer is one of those services that offers a lot for people that don't pay a penny, but if you're part of the creative industry or own a business, maybe the Pro or the Premium version is for you. For many years, I used DaVinci Resolve for all of my video editing projects, having originally learned how to use Premiere Pro in a media studies class. However, I wanted to see what other options were available, especially because I decided I wanted to start a YouTube channel. At the end of last year, I decided to bite the bullet and purchase Final Cut Pro, and let me tell you, I do not regret it at all. While it is quite pricey up front, Final Cut Pro is an investment, but ideal for people that want to edit exclusively on Mac without paying for the Adobe Creative Cloud subscription. Can you tell I'm not a massive fan of software subscription services? Final Cut Pro is very different from the standard editing experience that I was familiar with. Firstly, instead of having multiple video and audio tracks to play with, Apple implemented what they call the magnetic timeline, which is where your one main video track is. You can then add audio below the timeline and other clips and titles above, or cut them into the magnetic section itself. The magnetic part of the name comes from the fact that clips often stick together, which I absolutely hated at first, having come from using DaVinci Resolve. However, I started to get used to it after watching some videos, and now I feel like my Final Cut Pro workflow is actually quite fluid. I like how easy it is to navigate the program and just how smooth it is to find everything. Furthermore, Final Cut Pro is designed specifically for Mac, meaning it runs really well most of the time. Priced at £299, Final Cut Pro is certainly not cheap, and there is definitely a learning curve if you are coming from other applications, but the ease of use is very refreshing and I cannot see myself switching anytime soon. Oh, and one more thing, if you're a student that's looking to purchase Final Cut Pro, be sure to go on the Apple website and search for the Pro Apps bundle. This includes 5 applications including Final Cut Pro, Logic Pro, Motion, Compressor and Mainstage, all at the price of £200. Not only is this cheaper than purchasing Final Cut Pro by itself, but you also get the music making software Logic Pro and 3 other applications which are really powerful. This is a great deal and I would highly recommend it if you're a student that's doing a creative course. Before we get into the final app of this list, I want to give a quick honourable mention to Apple Motion, an app you can use to make fluid titles, transitions, effects and intro sequences in Final Cut Pro. Priced at £50, Motion is a great alternative to Adobe After Effects and is a keyframe based tool for creating interesting effects for your videos. After not understanding anything about keyframes in video editing software, I watched YouTube tutorials on how to use Apple Motion and now absolutely love it. The interface is easy to navigate and is very friendly to beginners that want to learn how to animate parts of their videos. Plus, it's part of the Apple Pro Apps student bundle, so it's definitely worth using if you pick it up. Anyway, let's get back to the main list. After going through a bit of a productivity phase, a recommendation that I got from a lot of people, including YouTubers and a family member, was to download an application called Forest. Forest is an app available on iPhone and iPad that helps you focus while you are working. The basic idea is to set a timer for how long you want to work, and this will plant a digital tree. You are able to lock your phone, but if you close out of the app, the tree will die and not be added to your forest. You can even set it to be really brutal, where if you get distracted, it will make your entire forest wither away. There are many different kinds of trees you can plant, and the coins you earn from successfully focusing can go towards unlocking new species. On top of this, Forest is beneficial for the real world environment, as you can spend your saved coins on planting a tree in real life. At the time of recording, the Forest app says they have planted over 1.5 million trees, which is great news for our environment. The Forest app is £3.99 on iPhone and iPad, which is around the same price as a Starbucks drink, so I definitely think it's worth it. So there we have it, 5 applications for iOS, macOS and iPadOS. Whether you're a business owner or a content creator, I believe so many people will find value from these apps and I cannot recommend them enough. Again, this video is not sponsored or affiliated with any of the companies or apps included in this list, although if you do want to download anything included in this video, take a look in the description as I'll have all of the apps linked down there. What do you think of all of these apps? Have you used any of them before? Be sure to let us know in the comments below. This has been Joe from TechKnow. Be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel, and I will see you in the next video.